Is it the truth of the matter is that the life of a mompreneur is not an easy one. A stay-at-home mom who takes care of the family and at the same time, runs a business of her own is not an easy one at all. And here are the things I actually do that helps me to successfully run my business and still be able to take care of my children. So number one is I plan my day in the night. Okay, so at night before I go to bed, I plan my day. I plan, when I'm gonna I'm like, this is the time I'm gonna wake up. This is how many minutes I'm gonna spend exercising. I'm gonna bathe my baby at this time. I should be at the office by this time. At the office, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm not gonna do. So I plan my day. This one I'll be because I have a home office. This one, for you guys to say, I thought you were a stay-at-home mom. Yes, I have an office in my home. Okay, that's where I do my business activities. Okay, so then once it is 5 o'clock, I'm done with anything that has to do with work, and I get back to, I get into the kitchen, prepare dinner, and stuff like that. So I plan my day in the night. Before I go to bed, I plan what I want to do the next day, right? Of course, we don't have control over everything, but the best thing you can do is plan and then take all your plans to God and ask Him to take permanent control and lead you and guide you, right? So, and then the next thing I do is, there's a trick is that I sort of plan my tasks, like I have a to-do list, and in that list I have big tasks and I have small tasks. So what I do is I start with the smaller tasks first, okay, before I venture into the big ones, because if I start with the big ones, I'll get so exhausted, and then at the end of the day I will have a lot of small tasks that I will not be able to do. So I start with the smaller tasks and I do them really fast, and then I proceed to the bigger tasks. Okay, so by the end of the day, I should have been done with like 80% of what's on my to-do list. You get. And then another thing I do is that I have non-negotiables. I have things that I don't joke with. For example, I have a journal. Okay, at night before I go to bed, I write in my journal. A breakdown of what happened in the day. It helps me to declutter mentally, right? And it also helps me to stabilize emotionally as well. So if there were things that happened that really 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 got to me, I find healing when I write. So I tend to write those things down, and then so that later I can actually go back to them and see what happened, what didn't happen, what needs to be done, what doesn't need to be done. You get. So I have lots of non-negotiables. I make sure I have a hot bath in the evening. Okay, at least just before I go to bed, I have a hot bath, not a warm bath, not a cold one, a hot bath. I don't negotiate with it. In fact, especially since I put to bed. It started since I put to bed. I realized how healing hot water can be. Trust me, like it's so healing. So I make it. It's a non-negotiable right now. Like I make sure I have the hot bath just before I go to bed. So these are the little things I do that helps me to stay stable. Okay. And then another non-negotiable is that I make sure that I study at least one verse of the Bible in a day. Even if I don't pray, or anything like that, I make sure that I study my Bible once, excuse me. Sorry, baby boy. I make sure that I study my Bible, at least study a verse of the Bible, no matter what. And then another thing I do that I do not negotiate with is talking to the Holy Spirit. I talk to the Holy Spirit about literally everything. It doesn't matter where I am. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I talk to him about it. I can just whisper it into his ears. I will say it in my heart, but I do not negotiate. Like, I don't compromise that. I always talk to the Holy Spirit about everything and anything that I am going through or that I am doing. Okay. Then another thing I also do is I have a morning ritual. Like I wake up, and then the first thing I do is to go straight into my Bible. Yeah, I want to get the verse of the day. If not my physical Bible, my digital Bible, the one in my phone. So I have this app called YouVersion. So it gives me devotions, daily devotions. So I go in there, I listen, I get the devotion for the day, I study it, and then I take a screenshot of those things and I post them on my WhatsApp status. So if you're actually on my contact list on WhatsApp, that's the very first thing. use, that's the very first thing you see on my WhatsApp status, a screenshot of my morning devotion. Yeah, so that's a morning ritual, and that's something I do literally every morning. And then I open my journal, I mark the things I need to mark in my journal, and then I get off the bed and go ahead with the other activities I have for the day. So if you develop a morning ritual, it gives you a sense of, responsibility, like it just gives you something to look forward to every morning. So it could be a morning ritual, it could be an afternoon ritual, it could be an evening ritual, but they just develop a ritual that you're actually going to enjoy. And then finally is I always try to get enough rest. Every opportunity I have to rest, I take rest. I never understood the importance of resting until I actually put to bed. Like, my God, it was then I knew that I really, 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 really needed to rest a whole lot. I'm a workaholic. Like, you don't find me sitting down idling away. I'm a workaholic. Even when my mother-in-law came in for what we call omugo, I was still, running around. By God's grace, I healed very fast after birth. Like, I didn't even waste any extra hours in the hospital after birth. After birth, I got cleaned up, slept a little bit, and I came back home like that same day. And that same day, I had already started running around doing work around the house. So I'm a workaholic. I don't know how to sit down and be idle. But rest is important, no matter how strong I am. As long as I know that this is time to rest, I just take that rest. Especially now that Zoe is here, and you know how babies are, and you know what they'll tell you: sleep when he sleeps. I know that doesn't actually work, but I try as much as possible to rest. Okay, so these are the things I do that helps me stay mentally, emotionally, physically, and even spiritually stable enough to be able to take care of my kids and still be able to do my business, show up online, create content, and all of that. So these are things I do that helps me. So if other mothers out there can actually, other mompreneurs out there can actually take a cue from here and try it out, it just might help them. So yeah.